to take.
800 watts pulling down from the sky. No grid lines, watch the energy rise. Silent panels drinking the glare, catching the heat of a solar flare. Isolated, breaking the chain, capturing voltage to handle the strain. The silicon warms, the currents ignite, transforming the heat to a digital bite. Copper lines humming, the meters go high. We capture the fire that falls from the sky. 48 volts in the lithium core, storing the surge, building the store. Self-consumption, we keep what we make, never push back. It's ours to take, 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 take. Ours to inverter running the line, switching the flow by our own design. Pull from the main when the battery drains, but the solar pulse is running the veins. No feedback loop, no external control. The independent power takes over the whole. Locked in a bank, the cells start to balance, pushing the limits, mastering talents, charging the limits, internal supply. We don't ask permission from lines in the sky. Steady extraction, completely unbound. Pure generation right out of the ground. 48 volts in the lithium core, storing the surge, building the store. Self-consumption, we keep what we make, never push back. It's ours to take, 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 take. Ours to take. Running the veins, pure power, zero push, isolated, balance, sustain. Saturated. 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 The exposure starts on the face of the glass, collecting the photons as cloudy skies pass. No mechanical movement, just elements bound, taking the radiance straight to the ground. Silicon matrix absorbing the glare, a heavy overload crystalline structure beginning to heat. Feeling the pressure down the beat. Maximum density, electronic flow. Watching the dials on the dashboard grow. The layers are packed, the boundary is tight. We're filling the channel with absolute light. Filtered risers begin to ascend, pushing the voltage right to the end. Silicone saturation completely fill the independent currents. Cannot be still, no space left to hold. The threshold is crossed, not a single watt of the energy lost. Drink it all in till the channels are bright. Pure overload in the middle of the night. Saturated. Is moving too fast, breaking the limits of everything past. No gate can contain it, no breaker can stall. The power's flooding the back of the wall. Isolated circuits are running so deep, while the rest of the grid lines are falling asleep. We hold the reserve in the back of the room, driving the bass through the shadowy gloom. Tensionless breakdown, the frequency's clear. The hum of the charging is all that we hear. Stereo delay throws bounce in the strain. The copper capillaries running the vein. Wait for the syncopated rhythm strike. Building the beat time, momentum we like. Get ready to discharge. Get ready to ignite. Silicon saturation completely fill the independent current. Cannot be still, no space left to hold. The threshold is crossed, not a single watt of the energy lost. Drink it all in till the channels are bright. Pure overload in the middle of the night. Saturated. Saturated, no empty space, relentless inflow, pure crystalline power. A sudden explosion of power that grows. The instruments peak as the wave hitting near the infinite pressure right over the bend. And radiant eruption, the sky open wide, a wave of high voltage we keep on the inside. No shielding can stop it, no barrier holds as the raw solar narrative finally unfolds. Drink it all down till the channels are bright, pure solar fire in the middle of night. Middle of night. The particles strike the collection array, turning the dark into luminous day. The meters are jumping, the needles are pinned, catching the force of a cosmic solar wind. Independent circuits are swallowing heat, locking the turbulence deep in the beat. We don't need the grid to distribute the blast. We capture the surge and we make the power last. Tensionless breakdown, the frequencies drop. The sub-bass is rolling, it never will stop. Stereo delay throws a bouncing the spark through the thick copper cables that cut through the dark. Wait for the shimmer to break through the cloud, building the momentum aggressive and loud. The solar discharge is ready to strike. Radiant eruption, the sky open wide, a wave of high voltage we keep on the inside. No shielding can stop it, no barrier holds as the raw solar narrative finally unfolds. Drink it all down till the channels are bright, pure solar fire in the middle of night. Eruption complete, the storm has arrived. Relentless current, completely unbound. Down, 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 down. Absorb the light, convert the energy. the street, just the power of the sun and the pulse of the beat. Filter risers begin to ascend, pushing the limits right over the bend. Photovoltaic flow, running deep and wide, the energy of a star that we keep inside, converting the radiation straight to the wire. We're running this system on pure solar fire, never pushing it back, keeping it all in the bank, filling the cells of the 48 volt tank. 48 volt tank. Is steady and clean, the most independent system that you've ever seen. 800 watts pulling down from the sky. We watch all the heavy grid lines pass us by. The charge controllers are holding the line, keeping the voltages perfectly fine. We don't need a meter, we don't need a bill. We're capturing the sunlight up on the hill. The crystalline structure is doing the work, while the heavy bassline continues to lurk. Tensionless breakdown, the frequency clear. The hum of the charging is all that we hear. Stereo delay throws bouncing the strain through the copper capillaries, running the vein. Wait for the syncopated rhythm to strike, building the peak time momentum we like. Get ready to discharge, get ready to ignite. Photovoltaic flow, running deep and wide, the energy of a star that we keep inside, converting the radiation straight to the wire. We're running this system on pure solar fire, never pushing it back, keeping it all in the bank, filling the cells of the 48 volt tank. 48 volt tank. Conversion complete. System independent. Pure flow. Inside the casing. Inside the casing where the copper coils win, the constant conversion of a digital kind, taking the raw energy straight from the cells, a steady transaction where the voltage dwells. The hybrid hazard risers begin to ascend, pushing the circuits right over the band. Inverter frequency oscillating high, converting the power that fell from the sky. A steady alternation, a clean, steady pace, dictating the rhythm inside of the space. Never pushing it back, keeping it all in our hands, fulfilling the energy the master plan demands. The master plan demands. Switches over the line, only taking from the outside by our design. If the lithium level drops down too low, the safety kicks in to sustain the flow. But as long as the sun keeps hitting the plate, the internal frequency determines the rate. No utility bills, no corporate control, an isolated processor running the whole. The cooling fans spin as the load starts to peak, delivering the heavy electronic sound we see. Tensionless breakdown, the frequency's clear. The hum of the charging is all that we hear. Stereo delay throws bouncing the strain through the copper capillaries running the vein. Wait for the syncopated rhythm to strike, building the peak time momentum we like. Get ready to discharge. Get ready to ignite. Inverter frequency oscillating high, converting the power that fell from the sky. A steady alternation, a clean, steady pace, dictating the rhythm inside of the space. Never pushing it back, keeping it all in our hands, fulfilling the energy the master plan demands. The master plan demands. Oscillation stable, phase marked, pure frequency. Disconnect command executed. Isolation verified. choose the path to play. The 48-volt core takes over the entire load, executing the lines of our independent code. Filtered risers begin to ascend, lifting the heavy frequencies right to the end. Grid separation and absolute, breaking the line. An isolated system running by custom design. No shared distribution, no vulnerability found. Just raw internal current deep in the ground, never pushing it back, keeping it tight in the frame, operating completely outside of their utility game. They measure the market, they manipulate the daily price, but their external metrics won't ever suffice. We built a consumer network that feeds from the top, a continuous cycle that never is gonna stop. The hybrid inverter stands as the ultimate guard, protecting the sanctuary inside of our yard. If the battery drains, the grid is a secondary slave, but it never receives a single watt of the power we save. Pure mechanical distance between our bank and their wire, a physical air gap shielding our solar fire. The crystalline structure keeps drinking the daylight clear, while the driving percussion removes every shadow of fear. Tensionless breakdown. We look out at the landscape of a self-contained land. Wait for the syncopated percussion to hit the main track, building the peak time momentum that never looks back. Get ready to switch. Get ready to release the core. Grid separation and absolute, breaking the line. An isolated system running by custom design. No shared distribution, no vulnerability found. Just raw internal current deep in the ground, never pushing it back, keeping it tight in the frame, operating completely outside of their utility game. Air gap active, total autonomy achieved. Zero dependency. Maximum solar irradiation detected. The shadow retreats as the sun hits the top of the sky. The ultraviolet radiation is climbing so high. Direct overhead striking the face of the cell, generating the heat that we know very well. 800 watts pushing straight to the maximum line. A brutal exposure by an orbital design. The silicone plates are baking in the middle of noon, charging the lithium bank takes a slow breath. A moment of calm in the middle of absolute depth. Tensionless breakdown, the heavy bass takes a tensionless breakdown, the heavy bass takes a slow breath, 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 a moment of calm in the middle of absolute depth. Stereo delay throughs we built for the day. Wait for the syncopated rhythm to perfectly strike, building the peak time momentum we like. Get ready to capture, get ready to hold the line. Peak time exposure, absorbing the fire above. This is the high voltage rhythm that all of us love. Drawing the absolute max from the center of day, storing the strength of the sun as it burns on the train. Never pushing it back, we are holding the line. Self-consumption is peaking and doing just fine, doing just fine. Generation achieved. Banks at capacity, holding the charge. The flow is moving. The flow is moving. The flow is moving. The flow is moving through the heavy copper strands tonight. A steady stream of pressure hidden completely out of sight. It's not about the voltage now, it's about the pure force we drive. The raw volume of electrons keeping this entire system alive. Through the massive terminal blocks, the transmission is completely clear. We handle the velocity of power without a single ounce of fear. No restriction in the pathway, we let the heavy current race, accelerating down the lines to claim its rightful space. 800 watts of generation pushing hard against the wall. The thick conductors handle the volume, never letting the system stall. You can feel the kinetic energy humming deep within the floor as the physical measurement of power demands more and more and more. We watch the digital display tracking every single moving line, an independent manifestation of a heavy electrical design. The circuit breakers monitor the total volume of the rush inside the isolated chamber where the heavy currents crush. The temperature is holding stable while the flow begins to scale. An unstoppable momentum that will never flicker or fail. Filtered risers begin to ascend through the sonic spectrum high, lifting the heavy frequency directly to the open sky. Pure amperage, the heavy movement that you feel inside the vein. A relentless transformation handling the absolute maximum strain. No resistance can slow it down. We let the internal pathways bleed, fulfilling every single demand that the independent circuits need. Never pushing it back to their grid, we keep the volume in our domain. Driving the four on the floor, rhythm straight through the driving rain. Straight through the driving rain. The meter show the heavy load moving exactly in accordance with the rules of our custom code. No bottlenecks allowed to form. The copper pathways ways are too wide, safely channeling the massive force we are generating inside. The 48-volt lithium core is taking every single drop, a continuous chemical absorption that isn't going to stop. We built this infrastructure solid from the ground right to the roof, an isolated power station that stands as living proof. The hybrid logic stands completely stable at the central wheel, managing the intense electrical pressure that is completely real, while the syncopated percussion to split the midnight air. We watch the pure intensity of light balancing the solar flare. Tensionless breakdown, the heavy kicks dissolving. Tensionless breakdown, the heavy kicks dissolving. Tensionless breakdown, the heavy kicks dissolving. Tensionless breakdown, tensionless breakdown, the heavy kicks dissolving. Tensionless breakdown. Tensionless breakdown, the heavy kicks dissolve. Tensionless breakdown, the heavy kicks dissolve. The tensionless breakdown. Pure amperage, the heavy movement that you feel inside the vein. A relentless transformation, handling the absolute maximum strain. No resistance can slow it down. We let the internal pathways bleed, fulfilling every single demand that the independent circuits need. Never pushing it back to their grid. We keep the volume in our domain, driving the 4 on the floor. Rhythm straight through the driving rain. Straight through the driving rain. Amperage stabilized, maximum flow sustained. Staying. Warning. Internal temperature rising. Compensating. The afternoon sun is baking the dark silicone skin. A heavy thermal reaction is starting to begin. As the ambient temperature climbs up into the red, the efficiency alters just like the manual said. A subtle shift in the voltage, a microscopic delay, as the heat of the summer attempts to stand in the way. The crystalline structure is holding the absolute line, but the thermal dynamics are testing the overall design. 800 watts of raw power generating the glow, creating a friction inside of the electrical flow. We monitor the sensors, we watch the telemetry shift, adjusting the parameters to handle the thermal drift. You can feel the heavy radiation pushing through the glass, a relentless physical pressure that is never going to pass. But the system is engineered to handle the maximum peak, delivering the high voltage techno rhythm that we seek. The massive aluminum heat sinks absorb the heavy strain, pulling the dangerous temperatures away from the brain. The cooling fans spool up to maximum RPM speed, delivering them the degrees as the heavy machinery runs, protecting the core from the heat of a million suns. Never pushing it back, keeping the energy inside, riding the temperature wave on a high voltage ride. Voltage ride. heavy demand, processing all of the power that falls on the land. The copper wire is warm to the physical touch, but the 48-volt lithium core never worries too much. We balance the threshold, we keep the environment clean. The most resilient off-grid setup that you've ever seen. When the thermal expansion begins to threaten the wire, we throttle the current and manage the invisible fire. No utility grid to lean on when the systems get hot. We stand on our own and we utilize exactly what we've got. The syncopated percussion is cutting through the haze while we navigate the hardest part of these summer days. The self-consumption continues without any kind of a pause, operating entirely under our own thermodynamic laws. Compensating.
gray canopy is finally starting to tear. A sudden shift of pressure high up in the atmosphere. For hours we were running on the 48-volt reserve, watching the voltage drop along the lithium curve. But the weather is breaking, the shadows begin to recede, delivering exactly the high intensity light that we need. The 800-watt array is waking up from the gray, catching the absolute maximum force of the passing day. A massive spike of photons hitting the silicon face, accelerating the electrons deep inside of the space. The hybrid inverter detects the sudden shift in the light, switching the heavy loads before the coming of night. No hesitation, the charge controllers open the gates. capture the shifting sky, watching the digital numbers on the dashboard multiply. How the sliding pressure is driving the heavy bass, a sudden flood of power illuminating the place. The copper lines are saying with the sudden extreme, waking the whole system right out of the cloudy dream. Filtered risers begin to ascend through the heavy air, pushing the limits exactly as much as we dare. And we slip surge, a massive break in the sky, catching the raw radiation from the heavens high. A sudden rush of current filling up the empty tank, pushing the heavy voltage deep into the lithium bank. Never pushing it back, we absorb the entire spike, riding the weather patterns exactly the way we like. The way we like. Way we like. The storm front passes, leaving a crystal clear view. The solar panels drinking down the absolute blue. The input wattage jumps straight to the top of the scale. A heavy burst of energy riding on the tail of the gale. The isolated network is swallowing every drop, building the peak time momentum that is never gonna stop. We don't need their power lines, we don't rely on their grid. We capture the atmospheric surge exactly like we did. The battery management system balances out the sudden weight, distributing the power evenly across the internal plate. The cooling fans spin up to handle the sudden extreme heat, while the heavy techno rhythm continues to drive the beat. A self-contained sanctuary feeding on the solar storm, keeping the whole infrastructure perfectly safe and warm. Tensionless breakdown, the heavy kit suddenly drop, leaving no wide August fairy space at the absolute top. Stereo delay throws bouncing through the open air as the automated system calculates the sudden flare. Wait for the frequencies to equalize and perfectly align, building the peak time momentum back into the design. Get ready for the secondary surge, get ready for the strike and the surge. A massive break in the sky, catching the raw radiation from the heavens high. A sudden rush of current filling up the empty tank, pushing the heavy voltage deep into the lithium bank. Never pushing it back, we absorb the entire spike, riding the weather patterns exactly the way we like. The way we like. Way we like.
System islanding confirmed. External export disabled. The ties to the heavy transmission tower, constructing an island of pure independent power. The massive array is catching the light on its own, feeding the quietest network that we've ever known. No bidirectional meters spinning out on the street. We keep every watt that we pull from the solar heat, and isolated inflow pouring straight into the lines, governed completely by our own specific designs. The 800 watts are filling the closed loop vein. We don't need to share with the city's electrical drain. We keep all the energy locked in the private domain, where the driving sub-bass continues to heavily rain. The hybrid inverter is acting as the ultimate gate, watching the voltage and setting the charging rate. It takes from the sun, but it never will give to the wire. A one-way consumption of absolute solar fire. Filtered risers begin to ascend through the dark, guarding the perimeter, holding the isolated spark. Isolated inflow, a perfectly enclosed machine. The most independent circuitry that you've ever seen. Taking the radiation, keeping it deep in the bank, filling the cells of the 48-volt lithium tank, never pushing it back. A strictly one-way street, generating the power to drive this heavy beat. Drive this heavy beat. The external grid is fluctuating, ready to fall, but we don't experience any disturbance at all. The lithium core is acting as a heavy buffer inside, smoothing the current and providing a stable ride. The processes calculate every electron we use. There is absolutely nothing for the system to lose. We pull from the sky and we push it right into the floor. A heavy continuous cycle that always wants more. The dark metallic casing is humming a quiet tune, basking in the light of a heavy afternoon. Self-consumption is the only directive we know, mastering the physics of the isolated flow. Tensionless breakdown, the moment of silence. Across this self-sufficient land, stereo delay throws bouncing the digital code, while the inverter manages the entire electrical load. Wait for the frequencies to align, perfectly sync, pushing the massive system right to the absolute brink. Get ready to capture, get ready to seal the gate. Isolated inflow, a perfectly enclosed machine. The most independent circuitry that you've ever seen. Taking the radiation, keeping it deep in the bank, filling the cells of the 48-volt lithium tank, never pushing it back. A strictly one-way street, generating the power to drive this heavy beat. Drive this heavy beat. Inflow contained, perimeter secure, total self-consumptions. Discharge contained. Visual discharge confirmed. Discharge contained. The air is heavy around the transmission wire. A faint blue glow from the electrical fire. The voltage is peaking inside of the isolated frame. An invisible pressure that finally has a name. 800 watts pushing right to the physical brink. Faster than the hybrid processors can even think. The electrons are stripping the oxygen out of the dark, creating a halo around the continuous spark. A violent reaction right on the edge of the line, but perfectly managed inside of the custom design. We watch the corona bleeding into the night, a beautiful hazard of pure concentrated light. The lithium cells are absorbing the static shock, locked deep inside of the solid metallic block. The plasma is forming, the frequencies start to bend. A visual warning of power right at the end. The ambient temperature shifts with the ozone smell as we pull the raw energy out of the solar well. Filter rises begin to ascend through the glowing air, igniting the edges of the high voltage flare. Corona discharge illuminating the heavy strain. A phantom of power dancing right on the vein. The ionization of the atmosphere in the room. A blue radiant halo cutting through the gloom. Never pushing it back, keeping the danger controlled. A masterpiece of energy, beautiful to behold. By the heavy load, running the current straight down the independent road. The 48 volts are expanding inside of the core, handling the pressure and constantly asking for more. The hybrid inverter is shielding the sensitive gear, keeping the circuitry safe from the atmosphere. The glowing corona hums with the dangerous sound, but we safely direct it all deep into the ground. Self-consumption demands that we master the raw extreme, protecting the sanctuary and feeding the solar dream. The high frequency arpeggios mimic the crackling light, while the heavy sub-bass carries us into the night. No grid to protect us, no external safety net, just the tightest off-grid system that we've ever met. Tensionless breakdown. The heavy kicks fade to black, leaving the crackle of energy laid on the track. Stereo delay, wait for the frequencies to align in perfectly sync, stepping right back from the absolute physical brink. Get ready to capture, get ready to seal the gate. Solar input 0. Solar input 0. The horizon swallows the very last trace of the light. The silicon array goes completely cold in the night. 800 watts of generation finally powered down, while the darkness settles heavily over the quiet town. But the internal network doesn't miss a single beat. The hybrid inverter seamlessly transitions the heat, pulling the current straight from the lithium core, opening up the heavy solid state electrical door. We banked the solar fire while the afternoon was bright. Now we unleash the stored momentum deep into the night. 48 volts holding the entire isolated load, running the house entirely on our custom code. The grid is out there humming, but we never make the switch. We ride the battery curve without a single glitch. The charge controllers rest, their daily mission complete, while the heavy bass line continues to the beat. The digital readouts glow with the solid steady, showing exactly what the internal capacity can do. Filtered rises begin to ascend through the midnight air, channeling the ghost of the afternoon solar flare. Midnight reserve, running on the captured sun. The independent cycle is never truly done. A massive deep cycle,
Drawing from the heavy tank
trusting the stability
of the 48-volt bank.
never pushing it back.
We consume the stored array,
Turning the dead of the night back into the heat of day.
heat of day.
The ambient temperature drops, the cooling fans power down. We are the only self-sustaining fortress in this town. The physical cables are cool to the human touch, because the internal system never has to strain too much. We calculated the draw, we engineered the deep supply. We don't need a single favor from the dark and empty sky. The chemical conversion is happening silently inside, providing the high voltage techno with the stable ride. If the voltage drops too low, the inverter holds the gate, but until that moment comes, we dictate the steady rate. A purely self-consuming loop operating in the black. We store the energy up and we never give it back. Tensionless breakdown, the heavy kicks fade away, leaving the echoes of the energy from yesterday.
Stereo delay, bouncing the digital hum, waiting for the heavy,
Driving for the heavy tank
wait for the frequencies to align,
and perfectly sync
riding the lithium levels.
right to the absolute brink.
Get ready to capture the groove.
Get ready to seal the game.
Midnight reserve, running on the captured sun. The independent cycle is never truly done.
A massive deep cycle,
Drawing from the heavy tank
trusting the stability
of the 48-volt bank.
never pushing it back.
We consume the stored array,
Turning the dead of the night back into the
heat of
out at the wires hanging heavy on the street, connected to a system that we never have to meet. They send the monthly statement, but the balance reads a zero. The hybrid inverter standing as the silent hero. 800 watts of independence shining on the roof. A self-contained sanctuary vibing all the proof. The corporate utility is desperate for the drain, but we cut the heavy cord and we stepped out of the chain. They want the generation, they want the push and pull, but our 48-volt lithium is running completely full. We defy the main connection, we refuse the heavy tie, drawing everything we need straight down from the open sky. No bidirectional spinning, no external market rate. We sealed the copper borders and we locked the heavy gate. The charge controllers regulate the absolute divide, keeping all the high voltage energy strictly on the inside. The cooling fans are spinning up to handle all the weight, protecting the autonomy of our completely sovereign state. Filtered risers begin to ascend through the heavy bass, pushing the Defiance to the edges of the space. Defiance, stepping out of the machine. Most isolated network that the world has ever seen. Total separation from the centralized control. We capture the solar radiation to feed the entire soul. Never pushing it back, keeping the power off their grid. We operate in secret, where the heavy voltage hit. Relentless, perfectly aligned and tight. A testament to engineering glowing in the night. Tensionless breakdown. The heavy kicks fade to black, leaving a wide atmospheric space right on the track. Stereo delay, guarding the perimeter around the isolated spark. Wait for the frequencies to align and perfectly sync, pushing the massive system right to the absolute brink. Get ready to capture, get ready to seal the gate. Current Defiance, stepping out of the machine. The most isolated network that the world has ever seen. A total separation from the centralized control. We capture the solar radiation to feed the entire soul. Never pushing it back, keeping the power off their grid. We operate in secret, where the heavy voltage hit. Defiance, absolute grid. discharge continuous. Cycle, locked. Solar flare. Solar flare. Straight through the driving rain. We reach the end of the line, but the cycle begins again. A continuous loop of energy running right through the vein. From the 800-watt array shining bright in the sun, to the 48-volt core where the heavy currents run. There is no termination point, there is no final close, just a permanent evolution of the way the voltage flows. The hybrid inverter stands as the monument in the dark, processing the massive waves from the isolated spark. We captured the solar flare, we banked the kinetic heat, and we transformed it all into this driving techno beat. No external interference, no utility to pay. We run this entire sanctuary exactly our own way. The final track is spinning, the system is fully primed. A masterpiece of energy, perfectly engineered in time. The charge controllers settle into a perfect rhythm now. We mastered the elements, we figured exactly how to separate from the grid and never look behind, leaving the centralized power completely out of mind. Filtered risers begin to ascend through the massive space, lifting the heavy frequencies all over the place.
Infinite discharge, an endless supply of the light, running the heavy machinery deep into the night. A permanent self-consumption.
We keep every single watt.
Utilizing everything the solar array has got, never pushing it back. A totally closed domain, riding the peak time energy.
Straight through the driving rain. Straight through the driving rain. The physical copper wires are humming a final song, a testament to the infrastructure standing incredibly strong. The lithium bank is balanced, the temperature's perfectly cool. We broke every single regulation and completely rewrote the rule. The meters are showing exactly what we wanted them to show, a flawless manifestation of an independent flow. We built this high voltage fortress to isolate the sound and push the sub-bass frequencies deep into the ground. So let the grid lines rust, let the central stations fall. We have everything we need right inside of this wall. A perpetual motion of voltage and heavy bass, dominating every corner of this off-grid space. The final arpeggio cascades across the stereo field, a pure relentless power that will absolutely never yield. Tensionless breakdown, the heavy kick slowly dissolve. Watching the numbers on the digital dashboard revolve. Stereo.
Cutting through the shadows and illuminating the gloom.
Wait for the frequencies to align.
Perfectly sync.
Pushing the massive system right to the absolute brink. Get ready to capture the final wave. Get ready to seal the gate.
Infinite discharge, an endless supply of the light, running the heavy machinery deep into the night. A permanent self-consumption.
We keep every single watt.
Utilizing everything the solar array has got, never pushing it back. A totally closed domain, riding the peak time energy.
Straight through the driving rain. discharge. Continuous cycle locked. Solar flare complete.